we did with Trey Young in Las Vegas during the Hawks' very first practice in Las Vegas. Now we know they'll actually be underway in about 20 minutes in Las Vegas. They play tonight. They play the Portland Trail Blazers in the second round of the knockout tournament. It's currently taking place. But we're joined right now on the phone, as I let you guys know, by a gentleman. Now I got to give you a brief overview of this gentleman. He goes by the name of DeShaun Tate. I have the ultimate respect for this gentleman. He does his thing here in Atlanta on radio station 92.9 The Game. You can catch him all throughout the year covering pro basketball as well as college hoops, but you can also catch him in a gymnasium near you. He's all around the world, all around the globe. You might see him in China, you might see him in Amsterdam, wherever hoops is played, DeShaun Tate is around. So DeShaun, thank you so much for taking a few moments out of your busy schedule to talk to us. How you doing tonight?
And Double T, B Money, appreciate you guys for bringing me on, man. You're absolutely right. Wherever that ball is bouncing, I'm going to it. If I hear they playing basketball, if I hear they got a hardwood of 94 feet and a round ball, I don't care if it's peach baskets, whatever the case. If they're doing it on the moon, I guess it's just time for me to go to the moon.
I respect that.
Now, for the past 3 to 4 seasons, we've known each other. You know, we formed a relationship covering the Hawks here in Atlanta. And one thing that I love about you, man, you don't just cover pro basketball, as I mentioned. You've actually schooled me to a lot that's going on in high school basketball as well as college basketball as well. So I know for some time you've known about the 3 Atlanta Hawks first-round picks that took place, Trey Young, Kevin Huerter, and Amari Spellman. But talk to me and let me know, what were your thoughts on draft night when the Atlanta Hawks brought those 3 guys over and added them to the roster?
Ecstatic, personally, that they brought on Trey Young. Trey Young is a young guy that I met back at the Peach Jam a couple years ago, and everybody that I saw get drafted a few weeks ago in Brooklyn, I had the honor of opportunity to be able to see all of these guys play, and coming back to Atlanta from that event, I mean, you name it, you know, Wendell Carter and Colin Sexton, Michael Porter Jr., the whole nine. I was the most impressed and walked away with what Trey Young was able to do. And ever since then, I just kind of fell in love with this game, and of course, he was an underrated player by quite a bit, in my personal opinion, at that time. So a good opportunity for the Atlanta Hawks to be able to get a guy that can score and be able to get other guys involved by facilitating and distributing the ball to them, making guys around him better players and getting their shots off. So we think that was a pretty good pick by the Hawks. Now, as far as Kevin Huerter goes with the 19th pick, I wasn't really all that impressed, quite honestly. But I will say enough to say that he's a dead-on shooter and has the ability to get his shot off. So where Trey Young is going to draw a whole lot of attention from the opposition and defenders, this is a kind of a Hawks team that, with a new scheme and a new system under new head coach Lloyd Pierce, is going to be looking to fire those 3 balls from long distance quite a bit. That's one of the reasons why, which I somewhat understand, of why they picked up Kevin Huerter. Kind of reminds me of a Jake Layman from the Portland Trail Blazers. You'll see that a little bit later on this evening. Kind of gives me a little bit of that same mold, because right now he's out with a hand injury for right around about a month and a half to 2 months. Now, as far as Amari Spellman goes at the number 30 pick, I was impressed with that, you know, for the simple fact I thought he could potentially be a steal. He has that little bit of Draymond Green kind of factor in him. And when I say that, I want to be very careful so that the people who are listening can understand what I'm saying by that. He has that bite, he has that bark, he has that dog in him. He can go to the basket. He has to do a little bit better, but he can rebound the basketball, stretch defenses out from the perimeter, outside shooting, things of that nature. And he got that buck in him that I feel like every team needs in order to be successful. Those are just a few of my own thoughts on the pick.
Now, as I mentioned, man, we've been covering the Hawks together for some time, so you were around right courtside and had plenty of opportunity to speak with Coach Bud when it was Coach Bud's regime. Now it's a new sheriff in town with Coach Lloyd Pierce, a gentleman that so far I've been pretty impressed with, although I'm also quite sure he hasn't revealed a lot of his schemes that we'll see during the regular season and Summer League ball. So talk to me and let me know what your thoughts are so far on Coach Pierce.
Well, I think one of the biggest things that he wants to implement is going to be defense first, which I think is very important, because the way that you see the NBA going right now is with so much firepower and so much offense going into isolation ball and things of that nature, in which I think that while that is very important to kind of be hip to the times and what things are kind of transforming to in the NBA game, you have to be able to play defense. Now, some people may feel like, we all heard the term or the expression, offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. Well, that's true, but I like to think that offense has a lot to do with it as well. But you definitely need some sort of defensive strategy or mindset implemented within your team in order to be successful. I can't go as far as saying that this is going to be a quick turnaround or a success story overnight as far as the Hawks go, but I will say enough to say that I think over time that it will be something led by the guys. This is just basically the starting point as to what it's going to take in order for the team to be successful. I think that the guys that they got is a good starting point. You're talking about head coach Lloyd Pierce. They're going to be firing a lot of threes on offense, and they're going to be playing a lot of defense. That's the difference between them and the Houston Rockets, because we know the Houston Rockets can fire off a lot of threes, but they don't have very much defense implemented within their system. I think a combination of both can bring nothing but success for the Atlanta Hawks. So we'll sit back and we'll see.
And it's also pretty unique, man. As I mentioned, I let our audience know, we were both recently in Utah and in Las Vegas. Now, you were in Vegas a lot longer than I was, so you got a little bit more of an exclusive look at what the team is able to do. They're currently playing Summer League ball right now. Talk to me about your opinion and your views of the Atlanta Hawks during Utah and Summer League play, and speak to me about the evolution of Trey Young and how you've seen him grow so far in just these last few weeks.
Obviously the Hawks got off to a rough start. They played 3 games. Started off in Memphis. After that, they played the Spurs, and then finished up with Utah, which was probably, I think, one of the more interesting factors for Trey Young and, of course, the Atlanta Hawks, because essentially that was basically their very first, opportunity at a true road game. I mean, what were we talking about in attendance? Like over 12,000 people.
Yep, nearly a sellout.
Yep, that's real. Like that was like, you were right there with me. We're courtside. That was like real life NBA basketball, like playoff atmosphere. I think that is something that's not only going to help out Trey Young, but it's also going to help out the Atlanta Hawks. Now, besides the fact that the Hawks went a bagel in 3, didn't even win a game over in Utah. The thing that's impressed me so far is that they had that same pace, that same mindset, stuck to their guns, went out to Las Vegas, didn't add players to their team, didn't drop players to their team, and they still continued to lose games, but they stuck with what they know. And I think by having those guys from Utah to go over to Vegas and stay within themselves and keep the same guys on the roster, they have that opportunity to develop a little bit more chemistry, hence why I think now the Hawks have won the last 2 or 3 games. So, as far as Utah goes, it was a bit interesting. But I will say enough to say that that's where I think that it has helped them quite a bit in terms of their play over in Las Vegas. It'll be interesting tonight, 10:30 p. Eastern Standard, 7:30 Pacific. Over there in Las Vegas, as far as tonight, there won't be Trey Young playing. That's a little discouraging after his performances the last couple of games. We won't see John Collins. We won't see Tyler Dorsey either. So it's going to be hard to imagine that they can win this rematch that they just played earlier this week against Portland. But as far as Las Vegas goes, I mean, it's a wonderful spot to have basketball. All 30 teams there. I think it's really exciting. I definitely would have liked to have seen Trey Young play on tonight. Unfortunately, we won't have that opportunity. We won't have that honor. But at the end of the day, this will also be something to go to show exactly what these Atlanta Hawks will be made out of without their star players in the summer.
DeShaun, man, I thank you for your time. Before I let you go, man, just tell me, what are your thoughts on the Hawks this season? If you had to predict the record for the Hawks, do you see them winning over 25 games this year? And what are your expectations for this very young NBA team?
25, man, to end the season, it's hard to imagine that they could go lower than that. Kind of depends on what's coming back. A lot of that depends on if Dennis Schroeder is going to return or not, or if the keys are just going to be given to Trey Young right off the rip. Outside of that, I like what I've been able to see out of Tyler Dorsey and John Collins improving his jump shot. Tyler Dorsey being a little bit more aggressive. I think because of those 2 factors, adding Trey Young and Omari Spellman, some 3-point shooting, that they can have, that they can surpass 25 wins. Now, if we're talking closer to 30, that might be a little bit more of a stretch. Certainly 27, 28 games, I think is a little bit more realistic for the team. I don't see anything playoffs or anything like that, but I think they're going to position themselves to basically get, be in contention for maybe a number 1 pick next year, or potentially even, another top 3, top 5 pick. That's where we might see R.J. Barrett. That's where we might see Zion Williamson or somebody else that they can put in the front court alongside John Collins.
DeShaun, man, thank you so much for your time. Why don't you go ahead and let our viewing audience know where they can check you out and follow everything you do via social media?
Absolutely. At Take Sports. TATESTAKE Sports. If you don't know how to spell sports, man, I can't help you out. But be sure to give me a follow, man. Appreciate everybody giving me a follow. I like to follow people back and just retweet some of my stuff. I'm a big retweeter more than I am original content. And whatever you do, man, follow my boy at HipHop 1987, man. Big supporter. You're doing huge things. I love it, man. These urban times, the whole 9. I love it, dude. Keep up the good work, and I appreciate everybody for listening and following.
Man, thank you for your time, good brother. You have a good night and keep being great out here.
No doubt, you as well.
So there you have it. We were just joined by Mr. DeShaun Tate, as he mentioned, 92.9 The Game Zone. He's also all over the nation doing his thing. But as I let you gentlemen know, I'm joined at the desk today by a good brother, good friend, goes by the name of Mr. Brandon. Now, Brandon, you also have an inside scoop as far as the Atlanta Hawks are concerned. You worked with the Hawks for a very long time. Your father also is very well known in the sports realm, and he himself is known in the Hawks locker rooms. We've seen you doing things on the court, working with the ball as a ball boy, so you're getting the inside scoop from both the home team, our Atlanta Hawks, and the visiting team. I see the relationship that you form with players on both sides. So talk to me and let me know what your ideas are of the draft picks that the Hawks picked up. Me personally, when they brought over Trey Young, I was ecstatic. I wanted the Hawks to go after Marvin Bagley or Trey Young, so I was very thrilled to see where they went there. I was actually hoping that Michael Porter Jr. would have continued to fall the way he was falling to give the Hawks the opportunity to pick him up, but he wasn't there. We had Kevin Horter there as well. What were your thoughts on draft night when you saw who Travis Slink, the Atlanta Hawks general manager, was going after?
Well, I wasn't really surprised, but kind of surprised, because I know it's kind of Trey had the whole hype around him from last season in Oklahoma, doing things that people hadn't seen in 30 years, averaging 27 and 9. That's hard to do as a freshman.
Yes, indeed.
And that's definitely as a point guard. But you know what I'm saying, we kind of see
how Oklahoma, at a team that's not known for basketball.
Yeah, we ain't seen nobody do nothing in Oklahoma since Buddy Hield and Blake Griffin, and that was a long time ago now. But I mean, I see what they kind of got going on. He comes from the Golden State tree, so I kind of see that everybody with the Steph comparisons. And we're not saying he's Steph Curry, but I mean the boy could definitely shoot. I'm not gonna knock that. So we know it's gonna take him time to get adjusted to the NBA world. Okay. And you definitely gotta let the game slow down and come to him. Don't go out there searching for shots like he was doing early in summer league.
He had to get comfortable.
Yeah. And then when we let the game slow down, and come to him, you saw Trey Young. Last 2 games, we had 23. He had 23 last night, 23 and 9.
And they overcame a 27-point deficit.
I know it's some league, but 27 points is 27 points. I mean, I don't care if you playing rec ball, AAU,
I agree.
College, like 27 points is 27. So, I mean, I was definitely impressed by that. That was a big team win for them. And, you know what I'm saying, give them a little boost going for the rest of the tournament. Hopefully they can try to pull it out, even though Trey's not playing and Tyler Dorsey's not playing, which I've been very impressed by Tyler Dorsey, because I've always liked Tyler Dorsey's game. But I thought, how Budenholzer was, kind of didn't let Tyler get his foot in the door. Kind of he had to play behind Kent and Marco and all them guys. So I think he'll get a big opportunity this year. I really haven't seen a lot of Kevin's game. Okay. But they said the comparisons to Clay, which I'm not surprised by that. He's 6'6".
I gotta see a little more to compare to Clay.
I gotta see a little more. I mean, he's 6'6", 6'7". That's the ideal type nowadays. I want to see if he'll be able to get his shot off and be able to guard between both of them. Because the NBA, if you can't guard the guard positions, you can get 8 alive. Because you got different matchups every day on the wings. You got Steph, Russ, James, Chris. Man, that's a long list. So that's just in the West. But in the East, you still got Kemba, Kyrie, John Wall, Bradley Beal.
Now Ben Simmons.
It was 7 feet tall. I don't care. He's not 16, 7 feet. But I mean, it's gonna be a tough task. I mean, I want to see what Trey has, because we know he can score, but I don't care about that. I want to see what he's doing on the defensive end. Because if you can't get, everybody can score points. Like
he's a great playmaker as well.
He's definitely a great playmaker.
Great playmaker.
But I want to see what kind of leader he is on the defensive end, like switching, and that's what NBA is nowadays, switching and can you guard your man. So I want to see that, and I also like Spellman, because Spellman was very underrated, even though that was a very great Villanova team.
Villanova's own, Philly, Villanova's own.
All right. I know you had your little good.
The champs, national champs.
All right, somebody got to get Terrell out of here. Okay. He's had his best year for Philadelphia winning.
Yes, indeed.
Philadelphia winning, and now Villanova winning. Now the 76ers are relevant again. All right,
it's a great year for Philly sports, man.
Yeah, okay, all right, that's enough of that. but no, I do like Spellman's game. I know they want him to try to be the Draymond type. But I think he can right now he can shoot better than Draymond, because
he has that fire like
Draymond. He definitely has a lot of dog in him. You can tell that little skirmish they had between Trey and Grayson, who the first one to come in as like the big brother role was Spellman. Yeah. So I mean, I like them, man. I want to see what John Collins does with his game, if his game is expanded, and I know he want to shoot threes more, but
he's knocking them down.
He's knocking them, but you got to have I don't want him to be a stretch forward. Have an in between game, because he was at Wake Forest. He was averaging. He shot like 60%. I mean, you're not gonna shoot that in the league, but I want to see you mix your game up. So I mean, I kind of like what they got going on. It's gonna be a process. So I mean, people got to bear with them. I see realistically between 25 to 27 wins. I mean, it's gonna be, they got you got a good foundation now. Now what you're gonna do between your other two guards from last season.
So let me ask you this. Let's talk about Coach Pierce and what Coach Pierce brings to the table. Now, I'm quite biased. I'm glad that we see another African American head coach. I think that's very dope. We do. We need a lot more African American head coaches in the NBA.
Right.
He came from Philadelphia, as we mentioned. Over the last few years, the Sixers have been trusting the process. Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of growth from that team this year, and one of their strong points this year was on the defensive side of the ball. Right. It was defensively what they were doing on the perimeter and in the paint. Granted, when you have a Ben Simmons and a Joel Embiid, it is pretty, I don't want to say easy to play defense, because it's still the NBA and talent is all over the place. But having those two pillars, did help with a defensive strategy. But now Coach Pierce is here. I think he's a wonderful fit for what they're doing in Atlanta. Right. He's well known in the sports realm. He's really good friends. Yeah, very respected. One of his best friends happens to be Green Bay Packer quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Yes. So I mean, he's known.
About that, Falcons fans.
He's also really close with Steve Nash. Steve Nash has already been helping Trey Young, speaking with him on and off the court to kind of groom his game. Right. He's another cat that I was impressed and happy. I said, okay, Travis is trying to build something here when he brought over Coach Pierce to lead this young team now. What are your thoughts on Coach Pierce, and what are your expectations for him in his rookie season as their coach?
I definitely like Coach Pierce. That's my guy. I mean, back to his player development days in Cleveland.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't know he was the player development coach back with the young Bron. So and he definitely well respected in the league.
Bron, D-Wade, and Steph all were giving him kudos when he was hired.
So I mean, that's kind of down the future that might contract some free agents. So who knows?
I respect that.
But I like what he has going on, because what people don't realize, like, Philadelphia was the number 2 defensive team in the league, and a lot of that was Coach Pierce. Mm-hmm. I mean, like you said, yeah, granted you did have Embiid and Ben Simmons, but then you still
need a great coach.
You still have a good defensive coordinator at football terms, but he definitely, he definitely had the players. Even though when Joel went out, their defense didn't lack. So I want to see he kind of bring the same kind of scheme. You don't have those two type of players here. So I like what he got going on, but it's gonna be a time. It's gonna be. He has to trust the process. In Atlanta terms, he has to trust the process. So it's gonna be building blocks. You got to keep building, get better players, and eventually, who knows? Might be the next Golden State Warriors in the East. You got your quote-unquote Steph Curry. You got your Klay Thompson. You got your Draymond. Now you got you got your John Collins now.
He's better in my opinion than a McGee would be at the big.
Yeah, exactly. So now you got to fill out your roster and keep developing your players, and then you never know. Free agents might. All right, they look. Trust me, like things don't happen overnight. So players be talking and players look and see what they got building on here. So they're like, all right, maybe I won't give Atlanta a different look instead of just coming to the city for other recreational activities. So you building a good culture here, and then Coach Pierce is building, and you winning games. You steadily improving each year because this first year you'll probably go in 25 to 27 games, then probably next season go 33, then 39, then possibly 40. And as long as you keep improving, then who knows? You might get in the playoffs, start there, then build your way up.
So what are your thoughts so far on the Hawks and what they've been doing in Summer League? Now, seeing them in Utah and in Vegas, one thing I noticed, although as DeShaun mentioned when we had him on the line, they went 0-3 in Utah. And a lot of Hawks fans and a lot of basketball fans and experts around the globe were already, Trey Young's a bust, he's not going to work out. And, it's different when we get to talk to the players and see actually where their mind state is at. And every game, after every loss, Trey Young's head was held high. He was still extremely confident.
Right.
And you could see growth. The ball wasn't going in the net. But for shooters, shooters are going to shoot.
You'll
have nights where you may go 0 for 40. Then the next night, you might go 38 for 40. You never know when you're a shooter.
Right.
I've been impressed myself with the growth that we've seen in the team. As you mentioned a moment ago, Tyler Dorsey, a cat I was very high on when he was in school at Oregon. I thought he was a phenomenal talent there. I think we've yet to see the best of Tyler. We're seeing that in him now.
Right.
John Collins, who picked up a lot of NBA minutes last year, towards the end of the season, he was actually in the game as a starter. So I was impressed so far. We see now they're moving on as we speak. It's 10:30 Eastern where we are right now. So the Hawks are over in Las Vegas getting ready to take on the Portland Trail Blazers of round 2 of the knockout rounds taking place in the NBA Summer League games. But what were your thoughts as far as the Hawks go in both Utah and so far in Vegas? We see Trey Young mixing and man, he's becoming a star. Autographs galore. Floyd Mayweather was at the game last night, right on the floor.
Talks.
Yeah, money talks. Him and Trey spoke before the game, after the game. And then we saw Trey come and sit next to Floyd and kind of catch one of the later games, and they were busting it up. And Floyd, so we see celebrities that are kind of coming on, and they're, taking Trey Young under his wing. What have been your thoughts so far of this Atlanta Hawks team in Summer League play?
So, for the first 3 games, people also got to realize, like, some of these players have not played since college. Yeah, they just been training, but it's different training by myself.
Trey said that he's been playing one-on-one, 5-on-5.
Exactly, been playing one-on-one, me and the trainer, and I'm doing drills instead of playing 5-on-5. So, it's you ain't played since what February, March?
Yeah, March.
Yeah, like
he went out early. He went out kind of early.
Yeah, so it's almost 4 months of not playing basketball. Well, playing 5-on-5 basketball. So I kind of figured that he was going to kind of struggle a little bit in the early games in Summer League in Utah. I kind of figured he was going to get himself established, get adjusted to the NBA speed because it's different than college, as everybody knows. Because now you definitely much faster,
catching much stronger.
Even though you still playing the same kind of guys you played in college, but you playing some of the guys that played overseas, that's older than you, that's more seasoned than you, that's stronger. So then you get a little roughed up a little bit, and he just had to adjust his body to it and then pick his spots. The same shots he took in Utah, the same shots he took in Vegas. The difference is, like you said, shoot. It's a make or miss league. Everybody know it's a make or miss league. So I was very impressed how he adjusted each game. His numbers didn't look well, but the ball was moving. You could shoot 6 for 15 and you have 14 points, but you got 8 or 9 assists.
Yes.
So
he's filling this. He's filling the stat sheet. Yes, he's filling the stat sheet.
So what they said last night, he scored assisted the last 14 buckets. So that's.
And he was facilitating dishing from all over the court in that 27-point comeback last night.
So then it's just the fact that you got to fill the team out with more shooters, and as he grows, the team grows, and as he goes, as what we saw last night, as he goes, they go. So as he gets more adjusted to it, and they be able to get more shooting around the court, the space is gonna open up, and he has a nice handle. He'll get it better. Coach Lloyd will get that better with him. Then he'll be able to beat plays off the dribble, pull up, probably shoot from 30. But every shot he can't be from 30. But I was very impressed with what the team had going on. So it's be a very interesting season.
Now, me personally, I think that with this very young team, the Hawks may need. Now, there are not too many free agents left. We saw the free agent splash take place already.
That's a big one.
But they might need to bring over 1 or 2 veterans to kind of be the coaches on the bench. We know that Coach Pierce and his coaching staff is going to do a phenomenal job. But sometimes younger players, i.e. what they have in Sacramento, how they had the Zach Randolphs, the Vince Carters, you want to have NBA vets still on that bench to kind of help cultivate the culture that you're trying to form. So what free agents do you think of those that are left out, there aren't many left, that we should see Travis Slink go after to bring over to this Hawks roster?
I'm going to go with he's not really an old vet, but he's a vet by NBA standards.
Okay.
Jabari Parker.
That's my man.
Jabari Parker.
Now, how do you feel about the injury? A lot of teams have been staying away from him because they feel like he's still injury prone. But he's a phenomenal talent. Another cat we have not seen his best basketball yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's. I'd rather have his injuries early than having him late in his career. I mean, he's still only 22, so he's 22 years old, 22, 23. So he come off an ACL injury. All right. So you see what he did in a little bit of time he played last year. He was still effective. Jabari has never been the most athletic person in the world. So nowadays you don't have to be athletic. He's still 6'10". He can score when he wants to, and he can play defense.
He can score from all over the court.
He can score all over the court. He's like a poor man's Carmelo. That's why I would put him as.
That's a hell of a comparison.
He's a poor I ain't gonna say a poor man's.
That's a hell of a comparison.
Because if you think about it, they kind of score in the same spots in the court. They like playing iso ball a little bit, but he get buckets. So I like Jabari, just in the simple fact that you need a wing, you need a three, you need a legitimate three slot, because who's just a small forward.
Right now, Torian Prince, and we've seen a lot of great things from Torian as well. But you could move John to the 5.
You can move John to the 5. Have Jabari play the 4. You can have Amari come off the bench, and because you can still have Dwayne be your big to come off the bench, and Miles Plum. Well, yeah, Miles Plum, me too. But I like Jabari Parker as a free agent to go look after, and I don't know how much he will cost you, but for the defensive presence,
they got some money to spend.
I mean, they definitely have a lot of money to spend. I wouldn't mind taking a shot at Marcus Smart.
The Celtics have not reached out to Marcus yet. And he's been very vocal that he is not happy about that.
He's not happy about that. That he's not got a contract offer from them or.
Now, do you think that would stunt the growth of a Trey Young? We still have Dennis, although there have been a lot of rumors that there are teams out interested in Dennis, and Dennis may be moved.
I don't think it was stunt the growth of Marcus, because Marcus doesn't need the basketball in his hand. Because Marcus, he didn't need the basketball in his hand in Boston.
I dig that.
And he can, if Trey's off the court, Marcus can still run your team. He can do all the dirty stuff. He get you 10, 12 points, 5, 6 assists, 6, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals on a good night. Now, if he start getting hot, then hey, sometimes you gotta chill out, because he start taking bad shots and start feeling himself. But that's every NBA player. But I won't be mad trying to go get Jabari Parker or Marcus Smart, because they at least give you some scoring and defense. So you fit in both sides of the ball. You get scoring for Jabari, and you get your defensive side for Marcus. So that'd be, if I were Travis, I would go look at them, because obviously the Bucks ain't trying to do nothing with Jabari, or Boston ain't trying to do nothing with Marcus. Or even a sleeper. I would get Clint Capella.
I'm not the biggest Clint Capella fan.
I'm not, but in how the Hawks play with this spread of court offense,
I need to see more from that cat. He wants too big of a bag, I think, for a small
and I would think about that too, because you had a year and a half worth of work. You're behind the white. I was like, I like Capella. I won't be mad to try to go get him just to steal him away from the Rockets. But also, it's kind of, you want to get him, but he's not really the offensive person that you would need. He plays great defense. Now he's pick and roll, and he feels he knows his job. But how would you play once you get your money? Because everybody plays well. It's contract season. You have career numbers. Then once you get your paper, then his numbers start coming down. I agree. So I wasn't mad about getting Clint Capella, but it's kind of like a gift and a curse. Like, you throw a whole lot of money at him, and it's just like he's not backing it up. So you just come back and get the Brinks truck, like Isaiah Thomas.
We're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. That was our Hawks talk. Make sure if you're at your house, after tonight's program, if you check out, just stay in tune with what the Hawks have going on in Summer League play. We're going to have you check out our interview that we recently did with Tyler Dorsey, and we're going to get into some meat and potatoes of the interview. LeBron James is now a LA Laker. There's been a lot of controversy going on with LeBron being LA. Is he the king of LA? We'll be joined at the desk by a LA native who was born and raised in LA, lifetime Laker fan. He knows he can give us a lot of inside scoop. I was recently in LA, so I have some things to discuss about what Laker fans were saying to me about the big move, and we'll talk about some vandalism that's been taking place out in LA that's kind of messed up. Yeah. But check out this interview by Tyler Dorsey. We'll be right back. You're tuned in right now. These Urban Times and Live Hip Hop Daily presents Sideline Stories.